no one is around you. Say, baby, I love you. You ain't running game. Say my name, say my name. You acting kinda shady. Ain't calling me baby. Why it's sudden change? Say my name, say my name. If no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. You ain't running game. Say my name, say my name. You acting kinda shady. Ain't calling me baby. Better say my name. The other day, I would call, you would say, baby, how's your day? But today, it ain't the same. Every other word is a yeah, okay. Could it be that you are at the crib with another lady? If you took it there, first of all, let me say, I am not the one to sit around and play. So prove yourself to me. If I'm the girl that you claim, why don't you say that?
Be like, damn, slow down. I know you see a queen, adjusting her crown. She been knocked down, but she never stayed down. She been living life like it's her playground. And they be like, damn, slow down. They can get just.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Audrey, and on here we cover true crime and trending news. So today I'm coming with an update for you guys regarding a case that I covered last year. And I mean, this one is going to be a tough one because I'm going to recap some things and talk about some things, but I won't be on here too long. It's not going to be a long update, okay? Let me get into these comments. Hey, AK. Hey, Brina. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, India. So, yes, you guys, we are going to be talking about Zion Foster. Actually, I just realized I did not actually upload a picture of her on my screen. Hold on. Here it goes. Okay. So if you guys do not know about Zion Foster, so she was a 17-year-old high school senior who went missing back in January 2022 from last being seen with her cousin Jalen Brazier. Now, Jalen Brazier is the fellow on the left over there. She was missing for approximately 2 months with, little to no information when Jalen actually confessed to throwing her body in a dumpster, you guys. Throwing her body in a dumpster. So this 17-year-old girl has been, no one has ever found her body. Now, to give you guys the backstory, you guys know 9 months ago, I gave you guys the update of the court trial where he had a hearing, where Jalen had a hearing for basically obstruction of justice, lying to the police during an investigation. So what his charges were not for unaliving her. He was never charged with that. He was only simply charged with lying to the police, right? So this is the video that I did 9 months ago, and it was titled Teen Zion Foster Goes Missing After Hanging Out with Cousin. Cousin reveals what he did to her. So on here, like I told you guys, the mother was just thinking that the daughter, who was very, very, very close to her cousin. So Zion was very close to Jalen. She referred to him as favorite. So on January 4th or January 3rd, actually, it was after she got off work. She was like, hey, Mom, can I hang out with Jalen? The mom is very familiar with Jalen because that was her cousin. That was Zion's cousin through the father's side. The mother was still very close to the father's side of the family. She even said that she referred to Jalen as like another son, a son to her. So she did not think anything of letting her hang out with her cousin. She knew that they were very close. So after Zion texted her, she was on her way home. It just went completely silent. She did not hear from Zion. It was to the point where she actually called Jalen like, hey, where's Zion? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I thought she went back home. This is what he's telling the mother who was very close to him. So he was like, oh, I don't know. I thought she was, at home. And she's like, no, where is she? He's like, I have no idea. So the mom is basically pleading with this man. So while the search party is still going on, Jalen, the cousin, is claiming to not know anything. After he dropped her off or after she left his home, he just did not know. Right. But the mother alleged during this time that she was on the phone with him and he confessed to, dumping her in a dumpster. So when she got this confession from him, she instantly went to social media as well as the authorities and told them what was going on. Jalen was then questioned. He was questioned again, and they actually arrested him for lying to the police. So I want to refresh you guys' memory about this mother's feelings regarding this case, just so we can bring it full circle about why the most recent update is absolutely heartbreaking. One moment.
Melton, what would you like to tell me today?
Zion. She just turned 17 in November. She shares her location with me everywhere she goes. She asks if she can go wherever I would allow her to go. There are yeses and there are nos. Because as a parent, you want to protect your babies. I have 6 kids. Zion is my oldest. All of my children look up to her. We were supposed to be planning her prom, her dress and colors. I'm still getting emails from the school right now for graduation pictures and just graduation. And now we can't do any of that because she asked me if she could go with Jalen. And I said yes, because I trust him. And I thought he would be responsible. But the fact is that it seems to me like he was hiding. He didn't pull up in my driveway. He pulled up in my neighbor's driveway. And he's pulled up in my driveway before. We've given each other a hug. I've spoken to him. He came that night and he picked my baby up by pulling into my neighbor's driveway and then parking in the front of my other neighbor's driveway. He called me. I didn't call him. He called me on the 5th when my baby didn't come home. He called me to say, I don't know why Zion would lie and put me into this. I haven't seen her in years. I haven't seen her in months. And I'm like, what? It wasn't too long ago that I saw you. And even knowing that my baby has been in contact with him, I kept going to his house. I just wanted him to tell me the truth. I stayed up for nights, for days, panicking and being so fearful. God, please don't let my baby be dead. Please, God, don't let my baby be just thrown away like she's nothing. These are the things that I prayed. I was fasting, my children not getting sleep, not eating, can't go to work. I'm a single parent. Everything that I do is for my children. Every ounce of money and time or whatever and energy is for them. It's to make sure that they're good. It's to make sure that they're surrounded by people that love them and protect them. And so, yes, Zion, you can go with your cousin who you have in your phone as Favo because he's your favorite on that side of the family. And to say, you panicked. Then why didn't you think about my baby? What if you were so high, you didn't know she was alive. And you just threw her in a dumpster in the cold without a coat.
And what she just said was, or what I think all of us was thinking, how, when you're high, and I'm not sure if everybody has smoked marijuana before, but you get super paranoid, you get.
Sorry, y'all. I'm not gonna do my comment. I'm not gonna play the commentary that I had during that live. If you guys want to rewatch that live, I will repost it on my community tab. But this is from the court hearing where Jalen Brazier, the cousin, was being held for lying to the police. He basically admitted that he was with her. They were smoking, and she just literally went limp. Her whole body went limp, allegedly, and he panicked. He did not know what to do, and so he drove and dumped her body into a dumpster, right? So he was being charged. He got charged for this crime of lying to the police, and he was charged with 23 months. At this part that you're seeing here, they asked if the mother would like to come up and speak. You guys know in court, a lot of times the victims' families is able to speak. So she's getting up here and she's basically just recounting what happened and how he went through this whole gaslighting and just lying and manipulation. Like, after she called him to see where Zion was, he called her back and was like, hey, I don't even know why she would lie. I didn't even get her. But she knew that this man got her because she noticed he picked her up from the neighbor's driveway, Even after that, she said that she went to Jalen's house numerous times and pleaded for answers. She just did not want to know. She just didn't want to hear those words that her daughter was not alive. Like, surely this is just some type of something that can be fixed. She's out there. She's somewhere, right? So they're here. They're pleading their case, and all this young man is being charged with is lying for the police. So we'll continue.
Hyper paranoid. Zion.
I will never know. I won't get to see my baby again. And as far as the many times that I went to his house during the search, Your Honor, he helped me post flyers of my baby in his neighborhood, on the corner of his house, the street that he lives. He told me, along with his mother, I would not lie to you. I know this has got to be really fearful for you. But I'm telling you, I have not seen her. I have not been around her. His mother said, my baby wouldn't lie to me. And so now everybody is suffering. My children are suffering. And they have to grow up knowing that their cousin did something this awful, and that their big sister isn't there anymore. And we have so many events and so many life changes that are happening now. My son came to his house and he didn't recognize him, but my son was so angry and he just knocked at the door and was like, is Zion here? Is Zion here? You could have came and said something. You could have called 911. You could have called your mom. You could have called relatives that are all around. Somebody could have helped. Somebody could have known something, but it seems like more than just a panic. It seems like you did something or you gave something. Because why, if you love her, if she says that she loves you, and she always does, and you say that you love her, then why? How is it that someone that can love someone could just dispose of them in trash like she's nothing? And then come with me and post flyers and reach out to me and tell me, I don't know. I know you're looking for Zion, but I don't know. I haven't seen her. I haven't spoke to her, and I don't know why she would use me. Why lie? This is something that can't be repaired. She cannot be replaced. This cannot be rectified. And we will never have closure. And as much as I love you guys, as much as I love that family, you have caused such distinction that it's hard to trust family at all. And now my babies are even more isolated. Because how can I trust family when family is one who did this? I will never forgive you, Jalen. And it may not matter, but I hope that your children grow up without you so that they can be better.
Thank you.
So that was the last time that Zion's mother actually spoke to Jalen. This was their last encounter, right? And like I told you guys, this is from my live back on April 5th, but the court hearing was March 30th. He was charged with 23 months for lying to the police, right? So just to update you guys on what has transpired from then, so after this trial or after this court date, there was dumpster searches that were being held where they have basically been trying to find Zion's body in these landfills with the trash, right? And in October, they actually announced that they were going to stop. And unfortunately, they have never found Zion's body. And this story is something that I will never forget covering. I will never forget these type of things, because it's one thing to bury your child. Like, we should never, as parents, have to bury our children. They should bury us. But it's another to put an empty box in the ground and not know where your child is. So they looked and looked and looked. They spent over $400,000 searching these landfills, to the point where they're like, they could not find any remains, any signs of her body whatsoever. So her mother has to live with that. As I couldn't imagine seeing my child in this type of thing, like in a box, right? I couldn't imagine seeing my child lifeless. But I really, 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 I will pull it together to see that, to make sure that they have a proper burial, to make sure that their final outfit is beautiful. This was ripped. Everything about this family was ripped. Everything off of one night of smoking weed and passing out. It just makes no sense. So once they announced that they were no longer digging, searching the landfills for her, of course the mother spoke out, and, she was upset, but they had to stop. There was nothing left for them to search at all. So I'm going to update you guys on the most recent update. As of yesterday, Jalen Brazier was actually released from jail for serving the time of lying to the police. So he did less than a year. He did about 9 months, I believe they said, 9 months of his 23-month sentence for lying to the police. He is not being charged with her murder, and we do not know why. It's the weirdest thing ever. It is absolutely weird. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go over the news report for what they actually said, because the mother did not know. She found out the same time we all found out. So this is courtesy of Fox 2 in Detroit, and this was published yesterday. It says, the past year has been agony for the family of Zion Foster. It was this time last year, authorities were searching for the missing 17-year-old. Now the person who was spending time behind bars in connection to her disappearance is once again a free man. Jalen Brazier was admitted into a special boot camp program he was into a special boot camp program which allowed for an early release to those who successfully completed. This is absurd. This is unfair, said Sierra Milton, Zion's mother, and it's not just. Milton is still ruling over the release of Jalen Brazier, likely the last person to see her daughter alive. Brazier was released from prison Tuesday, 9 months after he was sentenced for lying to investigators about Zion Foster's disappearance. Why is this man free? Said Milton. What? Like, I can admit to this and still be let free? Zion Foster went missing after leaving home in East Point to visit Brazier, who was her cousin in Detroit last January. As friends, family, and police searched for her, Brazier told the investigators he did not know where she was or what happened to her. He later admitted to putting her body in a dumpster and claimed she stopped breathing while they were smoking marijuana. I was in a panic mode ever since that happened, Brazier said in court. Her mother at one point talked to me and I couldn't bring myself to tell her, your daughter just died. What do I do? Brazier was sentenced to 23 months to 4 years in prison for lying to police, but ended up spending 9 months behind bars. So this is his most recent mugshot. I don't think he has any more hair. The picture just behooves me. His early release was a result of a 90-day special alternative incarceration program, which McCobb County Judge Edward Servito approved. It boggles my mind for the judge to give a more aggressive term because of hearing the case and finding out what Jalen said he did. It could be signed off and how could this be signed off and I not be notified? A group of Detroit police officers dedicated their entire summer searching for Zion's body in a McCobb County landfill, but never found her. The search was ultimately called off in October of 2022. Chief James White says their investigation is not over yet. That case is still wide open, White said. We think we've got a strong suspect in that case. Our detectives are working continuously. Everything they can talk to him, investigate him, visit with him to make sure we get what we need to charge that case the way it needs to be charged. In the meantime, nobody means no determination as to how Foster died, and no closure for a mother still mourning and still desperate for answers. What I want justice, Milton said. I want him to pay, and I want the truth to come out. So basically, he's not being charged with murder because murder charges without a body are actually very hard to convict, so I've heard. So that could be the reason. But again, the fact that she was not notified that this man was even qualifying for a special camp to get out of jail, knowing the heinous crime, okay? Because even if she just happened to pass out on the couch, following his accounts, why would you put her in a dumpster? Period, point blank. We called this out months ago, Amanda. We never have believed the story. We have speculated a lot of things. I'm not going to repeat them, but I think all of our minds wander to the worst, and that is his fault. Period, point blank. When you do things like this, we have to think the worst. Did you assault her sexually? Did you assault her because she didn't, submit to you? Like, what the hell would possess you to put a whole body in the dumpster? And the fact that her remains have never been found just makes no sense. It makes no sense. They said they were digging and digging and digging and never found her. And I don't know. I don't know. So we're going to play the news report of her actually talking. So one moment.
Fox News' Randy Wimbley joining us live with more on why Zion's cousin was set free today. Randy.
Hey guys, Jalen Brazier was admitted into a special program, essentially a boot camp program, which opens the door for an early release for those who successfully completed.
This is absurd, it's unfair, and it's not just.
Sierra Milton is reeling over the release of Jalen Brazier, who's likely the last person to see her daughter alive. Brazier was released from prison Tuesday, 9 months after he was sentenced for lying to investigators about Zion Foster's disappearance.
Why is this man free? What? I can admit to this and still be let free.
Zion went missing after leaving home in East Point to visit Brazier, who's her cousin, in Detroit last January. As friends, family, and police searched for her, Brazier told East Point investigators he did not know where she was or what happened to her. He later admitted to putting her body in a dumpster and claimed she stopped breathing while they were smoking marijuana.
I was on panic mode ever since that happened. Her mom at one point talked to me and I couldn't bring myself, like, your daughter just died. What do I do?
Brazier was sentenced to 23 months to 4 years in prison for lying to police, but ended up spending 9 months behind bars. His early release, the result of a 90-day special alternative incarceration program, which Macomb County Judge Edward Servito approved.
That boggles my mind for the judge to give a more aggressive term because of hearing the case and finding out what Jalen said he did. It could be signed off and I not be notified.
A group of Detroit police officers dedicated their entire summer to searching for Zion's body in a Macomb County landfill, but never found her. Chief White says DPD's investigation is not over.
That case is still wide open. We think we've got a strong suspect for that case. Our detectives are constitutionally doing everything they can to talk to him, investigate him, visit with him, to make sure that we get what we need to charge that case the way it needs to be charged.
In the meantime, no body means no determination as to how Foster died, and no closure for a mother still mourning and still desperate for answers.
What I want is I want justice. I want him to pay, and I want the truth to come out.
There's still so many unanswered questions for Sierra Milton. We were unable to get in contact with Jalen Brazier or the Macomb County judge who presided over his case. But as you heard from Detroit Police Chief James White, this is something they're still very much looking into. Roop, Taryn.
Right, so Jalen right now is out. He has already paid his dues for this particular situation. But as we said a little bit earlier in the 10 o'clock show, if they do possibly find more evidence or perhaps her body, this case could change.
Yeah, and as you heard from Chief James White, they said they want this to be charged in their estimation rightly and charged the way that it should be in their estimation. So they are doing everything they can to try to reach out to him, talk to him, and see what they can get to the bottom about what happened to this.
So there you guys have it. That is the most recent bizarre update regarding the Zion Foster case. And just in January, on the anniversary of her, on the day she went missing, they did, of course, hold a pep rally just to talk about, her and, just pay her their respects to her. But it's really weird for me covering this case. Like I said, not only from the standpoint of a mother, but also from the standpoint of this is just how weird the judicial system is. And especially for colored like us, Black people. Like, it's so weird because on one hand, we are like forced to be told to trust these people. And then on the other hand, things just never make sense. I, for the life of me, do not understand why someone who potentially could be charged with unaliving someone because they threw their body in a dumpster gets a chance to go to a boot camp and restart their life. But people who sell marijuana are literally getting maximum sentences, serving 20, 30 years for selling marijuana. Like, I never have understood that. I know that is like so off the point, but every time things like this happen where someone actually harms someone, taking someone's life, they get off so easy compared to people who are charged with conspiracy and, things like that. Like, why are we literally letting this man go to a boot camp and start over his life when he took a life? He was 21 years old, 22 years old, India. He had 2 children, or I think he had one and then one was on the way or something like that. But yeah, he was like 22. Let me see how old he is. I can't remember. Let me see if I can think. I know his mugshot had his date of birth, I think. Let me see if I can find it. I cannot remember how old he is, but I know he was young. You know, he was young, but he wasn't too much older than her. Let me see. Yeah, 23. So Jalen was 23. It's just so crazy to me. Like I would never stop questioning that. Like I feel like, you know, he shouldn't have that opportunity until they are complete with their investigation regarding the unalivement and the searching of the dumpsters. You know, like if they couldn't find anything and they find probable cause with someone else or something else and they offered him this chance, you know, because he lied to the police, that's one thing. But knowing that this is the only suspect and letting him go and live his life while you guys basically essentially drag this grieving mother down the street and, you know, just give her false hope just doesn't make sense to me. Nobody, no proof of anything. If they charged him, it wouldn't stick. And if acquitted, they wouldn't get another chance. That's very true. I still don't understand how he admitted to basically dumping her in the dumpster. So the fact that he never got even a manslaughter charge is really weird. Yeah, he was only charged with lying to the police, but they could have definitely added a charge because he actually confessed to putting a body in a dumpster. So I thought that they were on grounds to even up his charge. But if you guys go back to the video that I just shared of my reaction back then, the judge actually did speak out and basically say he wanted to do more, but he couldn't. So that's where the mom basically said he was like, you know, I'm going to give you the maximum of what I can give within my jurisdiction of this court. The court that he went to actually do not hold any manslaughter murder charges. So it's just crazy. His charges were in regards to lying to the police, not the homicide. I think they were hoping they would find more while he was incarcerated, and they didn't. Yeah. That's basically what they said too. So you're right on the money. They never found the body or remains. Him saying he did it, that could just be another lie. It's so weird. So we do know, Amanda, I know that you said that there was someone else behind this. So we do know inside the home, there were other people in the home. I can't remember if it was the child, if it was his baby mother or his grandmother that was in the house as well, because the mom even said, like, why you didn't just ask someone else in the house for help? Like he just basically panicked. Yeah, India. I personally do not think she was ever in a dumpster. I don't know. I know someone has said in the chat, a home. I don't know if she's in an abandoned home. It's just so weird to me because it was cold when she was allegedly placed in the dumpster. It was cold. So we know that her body would not decompose as fast because it was, y'all know Detroit gets really, really cold. So with that being said, he dumped her in the dumpster. They found out, or he confessed to this about 2 months after they take the dumpsters and put them in the landfill, right? So someone during this time did the calculations of how deep they need to measure approximately to find her remains. And they did that initially and did not find anything. Sorry, excuse me. Once they actually had the hearing for him being charged with lying to the police, they continued their search until October and never, ever found anything. Like, it's so weird. Did she have on clothes? The mom said there was no jacket. Like, it's all so bizarre to me. Yeah, that's the thing. They have never came out and said if anyone saw or if there was any cameras. And you guys know when there are investigations like this, sometimes being quiet means they have the smoking gun, speaking figuratively, or they don't know anything at all. So I'm hoping for the latter. I'm hoping that they actually have a smoking gun and maybe they do have some cameras, because I know anytime that you go to a dumpster or anything like that, most of those times there's cameras. There's cameras, or at least where I live. So I don't know. I don't get it at all. I have no doubt that he will go to where she is when he gets out. Unalivers always do. But that's the thing. So he was only arrested. He was arrested months after. So he wasn't arrested until March for this crime, Trey. And what was he doing that the whole 2 months from February all the way until March? Then he was sentenced. So he wasn't in jail long at all. He was actually a free man up until they caught him based off of the mother reporting to them, hey, this is what he told me. He told me that she's not alive. So, that's all that I wanted to talk about today. Hey, Ty. I have so many thoughts and prayers for this whole entire family. I will never unhear her saying that she will never get to pick out prom dresses or a graduation dress, or never get to take graduation pictures of her daughter. Like that it really it's earth-shattering, like I said. And I'm not sure if they actually had a homegoing celebration for her or not, like the proper way, because I know the mom actually wanted to have her there, have her body. So I'm not sure, but it's so sad. It's so sad. And a part that I actually read on Facebook, on the mom's Facebook, she actually found out that Jalen was released based off of a tip, like a friend told her, like, hey, this is what's being said. So she found out in the worst way possible. How far does he live from the state line? I'm not sure, Amanda. I'm not really sure how far he was. But I do know that whatever he was doing, it just does not make no sense. And to say you panicked, to say I was smoking weed and she just went limp, those was his exact words. Like, she just went limp. Just never made sense. It never will. And prayers to that family. Exactly. Most apartments and stuff have parking lot cameras or something. They have nothing. I think someone else is involved. Yeah, it definitely is. Especially you want like to pick up her body. He didn't look big and at all. Like he didn't look like a large man, and a limp body is heavy. Don't y'all know when, like, think of when you fall asleep. It's not going to be easy to just pick you up and toss you, but a limp body in the cold, how did you just get her all the way out the house? I went over all this in the last video, but I don't get that. How did you pick up a limp body without help? Yep. No, he won't be on probation, Trey. Nope. No word of probation because of the program he was in. Basically, from what I understood or what I gathered from the program, and I'll do more research on it if I'm wrong, but it's basically like a restart program. Like, you go through this and you show that you're able to be a law-abiding citizen, and you are basically able to restart your life. So I don't think he's on any probation. So you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for joining my live. I'm going to share my old video on my community tab just to refresh you guys on what happened to Zion Foster. And again, many, many prayers to her mother and her remaining siblings. You guys have a good night.
And thank you. Oh yeah, thank you, Ms. Marcel. Yo, all props to you. And just you keep doing what you're doing. And you got a voice. Keep doing what you're doing. And you got a voice.